JM,
Yes, Tita.
wala akong sound.
You
Hindi
have
kita
a sound.
naririnig. Ayan, ayan na. Ngayon ko
Okay.
lang narinig. Okay.
Okay po.
Hi, I'm here.
Morning.
Morning. Yeah, I was just I had to go to the ladies' room.
You have a sound.
Ayan, ayan na.
Okay.
Ngayon ko lang narinig. Okay.
Okay po. Thank you. You have to mute your mic.
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah, Christine, just a while.
Morning.
Kindly.
Morning. Yeah, I was just I had to go to the ladies' room.
You have a sound.
Ayan, ayan na. Ngayon ko lang narinig. Okay.
Okay po. Thank you. You have to mute your mic.
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah, Christine, just a while.
Morning.
Okay. We'll just admit a couple of people more. And we will begin. I just would like to alert everybody that we are now live on YouTube. So kindly mute your microphones. Let's begin. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Salamat at kayo po ay dumalo. You are part of the group and helping us celebrate and listen to the inspirational talk of Michael C. Orosa, who is a self-defense instructor and founder of the Empower Self-Defense Center. Today, our flow for today is very simple, as what it has always been. We hear a chant. We'll open with a chant from Christine Harlos, a reading of the Psalm by Yuri, a reading of the story of David and Goliath, a reading from Matthew. We meditate, both breathing meditation and mindful and Christian meditation. For those who are first time to this, we will guide you into how to do meditation with us. And then the inspirational talk of Mike. We deeply listen to sharing of reflections or open the forum for questions and answers. And like Father John's advice, with everything that we do, especially with our own day, we do bookends. We open our session or our day with meditation and close it with meditation. Then Yuri will take in another line from the Psalm, a little announcement, and we'll have the song of Joseph once more, Christine Carlos singing this for us. If I am taking a bit of a time with my introductions, it's or orientation, it's because I have to admit people at the same time. Okay, so let's begin. Shall we have now Christine?
I'm here. I will not be afraid, O Lord, for you are here with me. I will not be afraid, O Lord, your power and love protect me. I will not be afraid, O Lord, for you are here with me. I will not be afraid, O Lord, your power and love protect me. I will not be afraid, O Lord, for you are here with me. I will not be afraid, O Lord, your power and love protect me.
Psalm 18, verse 2 to 3. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield, and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I called to the Lord, who is worthy of praise, and I have been saved from my enemies.
From the first book of Samuel, chapter 17, verses 41 to 50. The Philistine, with his shield bearer in front of him, kept coming closer to David. He looked David over and saw that he was a little more than a boy, glowing with health and handsome, and he despised him. He said to David, "Am I a dog that you come at me with a stick?" And the Philistine cursed David by his God. "Come here," he said, "and I'll give you your flesh to the bird and the animal."
David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. This very day I will give you the carcasses of the Philistines, army to the birds, and to the wild animals. And the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. All those who gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves. For the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you all into your hands, into our hands.
As the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag and taking out a stone, he slung it and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead and he fell face down on the ground. So David triumphed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone, without a sword in his hand, and he struck down the Philistine and killed him.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 43. Understand this. If the owner of the house had known at what time of night the thief was coming, he would not have kept watch. He would have kept watch and would not have let his house be broken into.
Let us prepare for meditation. Heavenly Father, oh, I'm sorry. Tita Dali, go ahead. Please unmute your microphone. Tita, kindly unmute your microphone.
Makalangit na Ama, pakibuksan mo po ang aming mga puso sa isang katahimikan kasama ng Espiritu ng iyong anak. Pangunahan mo po kami sa di malirip na katahimikan kung saan Ang iyong pagmamahal ay ipinahahayag sa mga tumatawag ng Maranatha. Halina, Jesus.
Kindly sit upright. The only rule in meditating is to have a straight spine. If you are seated, and straighten your back in the most comfortable way. Feet flat on the floor, eyes gently closed, hands on your lap. Now bring to your awareness how your body feels in contact with the chair, how your clothing feels as it touches your skin. Now bring to your awareness a special someone or anyone that you would like to send well wishes for, or dearly departed, someone who is ill and need help, or someone who is celebrating life, like one of us who is celebrating her birthday today, our prayer leader, Vanji Palileo. Just bring them all into your hearts as we sit in stillness and silence. Now focus on your breath, the way it touches your nostrils, in, out, aware of your inhalation and exhalation. If thoughts come, just let them go. Just acknowledge and come back to your breath, the breath of life God gave us. In, out. Following one's breath makes one breathe deeper and exhale slower, not purposely breathing deeper or slower. It's just the motion of following one's breath into our nostrils, our throat, our lungs, our stomach. And exhaling, we follow it as the stomach collapses, chest collapses, out through the throat and through the nostrils. Inhaling, exhaling. Brings both mind and body as one. Grateful for the breath of life. In, out, deep, slow, calm, ease, smile, release. This is a beautiful present moment, wonderful moment, because we are one with the breath of life God always gives us. In, out, deep, slow, calm, smile, release. wonderful moment. At the end of the sound of the third bell, begin to pray Ma Ra Na Tha repeatedly from start to end of our meditation session and listen to it. Ma Ra Na Tha. We now listen to Michael Rosa. May we have the screen sharing done.
Hello, good morning to everyone, and thank you for giving time to this little talk in our daily practice of meditation. I just want to say just a little bit about the Empower Group. The Empower Group was put up to address the need for especially women, young women, to have the knowledge of self-defense in a very short time. And it's more or less a generic form of martial art. Really no gym. We train under the trees. We train in the fields. We train in the playgrounds. And this is probably the most close to the street as you can get. It's not many techniques. We work on perfection. And especially the teenage girls, it's probably also the only group where you see people smiling, you see people laughing, and chatting whenever they want to. But the most important trait of these girls when they've gone through the training of Empower is when they need to come out with a burst of power to defend themselves. Even the littlest girl that we've ever had on the group will come up with such power that it is really, truly amazing and truly God-given and truly the motivation for me to go on. Michelle? Okay, the basic thing here is, I guess, why do we need to study self-defense? Basically, we for any group, we do encourage people to get into some sort of sport. There's a great benefit for physical fitness and health in any sport. The discipline is certainly helpful when you follow a certain time, you follow a certain routine, and you try to memorize certain movements, and then you become happy when you exceed these movements and you go level up. And then, of course, there's a need for survival because of the simple reason that evil exists. And the joke here is that we started eating fruits and we got ourselves into problems. Eventually, in the primitive days, when we learned how to plant and we learned how to hunt, some people just simply decided that they did not want to do the labor and they just go raid whatever camp they could to steal the food and to rape the women to get their belongings and then go somewhere else. So again, there arose the need to create armies. And what were the armies? Is to ask the young men, the powerful men in the village to train in warfare while everybody else plants for them, so that when anybody with evil intent comes into the group, then the young warriors could defend the group. And this is where you have the armies and probably the very most basic form of taxation. Next, please. Okay, there's an obvious rise of crime in our community, and that's of course related to the increasing population worldwide. Population will always increase, and based on the economic situation of the country, there's a greater number of people who are poor. There's an influence of drugs, alcohol and whatever abuse you have and disasters. And now we have the game changer. It's called the COVID-19 pandemic. This is a game changer because it has changed every single way we have known on how we should live, how should how we should socialize, how we can go work and earn money for our families, where we bring our families, where we go, even how we have to wear face masks and face shield. And it has turned us into alcoholics because we need to wash our hands and spread alcohol all over our hands. But especially this area also social distancing. But what has this created? This actually has created a whole lot of mental problems, and it has created a vast number of people who have gone hungry. Next, please. Okay, this is the typical economic social triangle that we do have. This is taken from Rapper's 2015 drawing. As you can see, it's only 0.1% in the upper class, and we have about 25.2, which is the bulk of the middle class, and a huge 74.3% in the lower class. It's actually much fatter than that, especially now. And this has forced some people to lead a life of crime and to steal, and which leads us basically to our topic of home invasion. Next, please. Okay, just before we go to our rights, home invasion is simply going into somebody else's house. This is, of course, illegal. It's against the law. It can lead to violence, and not that common in our country, but it will increase. There has been cases like that. But what protects us in the law? We have what you call the Article 2, Section 5, which is the maintenance of peace and order, the protection of life, liberty, and property. The promotion of the general welfare are essential for the employment by all people of the blessings of democracy. So this is what we are holding on in terms of our constitution. Everybody's life, a right to life, liberty, and property. Next, please. Now, what is involved in self-defense? To claim self-defense or to use self-defense, there are three important things to realize. Number one, there has been an unlawful aggression. That is the most basic reason why you need to defend yourself. Is there is an aggressor. In school, there is a bully. Out there, there is a snatcher. There's somebody who will rob you of what you have worked hard for. And then number two, there's a reasonable necessity of means employed to prevent or repel it. In other words, there must be an exertion of some sort of force to at least repel, number one, repel the aggression. So the law is tricky on this side because there is such a thing as too much force. Again, we maintain that we shouldn't take a life, but it depends on what level of aggression has been thrown to our side. The law encourages flight, meaning to flee away from any scene where you have an aggressor. But that only works if you are able to flee, and of course, it will only work if you see it ahead of time, so you can just get away. Again, this is probably the most basic application of the term we use now, which is called social distancing. You have to distance yourself from the problem. Again, there's lack of sufficient provocation on the part of the person defending himself. In other words, you weren't really doing anything, and the criminal sees you. The criminal chooses you or the group of people have gone hungry, see your house. They know your house looks nice, then they're after the food. Now, there's a difference between people who are trying to survive, going into a home invasion mode, from people who are actually looters. Because in the videos of uh, the storm in the Visayas, some people you're even seen carrying refrigerators and television sets. I mean, you can't eat those things. I'll understand people carting away food, carting away clothes and water, but you have this group of people again who have a different mindset. Part of self-defense, of course, it has to be clearly established also that in your ability to defend yourself, you did not actually know the person. So the excessive amount of force that you might end up implementing had nothing to do with revenge, resentment, or any other evil motive. Is talagang clearly to get rid of an aggressor who just happens to have chosen you. Next, please. Okay, so again, home invasion. Next, please. Okay, these are just samples of cases of home invasion that have happened, just to show you that it does happen here. This one is a case of a couple when they got home, sinabayan sila sa pagpasok nung gate ng asawa. And the person immediately shot the husband 3 times. So with all the commotion, the wife brings the baby and finds out what was happening, and she was shot twice. So both of them sadly passed away in this incident that was narrated way back in 2017. Next, please. And another one in Negros. In the provinces, kasi there are bands of people that can get together to do this. So we don't know if they have anything to do as rebels or something like that. But here was a high school principal and his sister who was killed because their home was invaded. And out in Bulacan in 2017, it's another one where there's even sexual abuse by the assailants. Remember, one of the things that is associated with home invasion is when you are in your home, you kind of feel safe. This is your safe haven. This is your security. This is your peaceful place. This is your happy place. Anybody who enters or invades your home will create such a level of fright and such a level of panic that you actually will not be able to think straight. Imagine when you come out from your bedroom, get into the sala, and there are other people, other masked people there with knives and guns. It blocks any level of thinking that you have, because you don't realize that it can happen inside your home. Next, please. Okay, here's an anatomy of the crime. Why is a crime committed by a certain person? For the criminal, number one, there's a criminal intent. No, there's really a true mission for him to get something. You know that you can actually order a specific cell phone from a thief. Can you get me an Apple 7 like that? And he goes around the crowd, and when he sees you with the Apple iPhone 7, he will now be locked onto you, and you are the target. Now, the criminal has the means to carry out the crime. He has knives, sharp objects. He can plan out things, and he can just start following you. And number 3, he has the opportunity to commit the crime. Now, in terms of home invasion, when people become hungry, that's probably the most powerful reason to go out there and start looting and invading somebody's home, especially somebody's home they know have a nice pantry, and who always throws parties will definitely have the sustenance they need. So how is the victim chosen? So the criminal will choose somebody who seems gullible. This is out there. If you're attending to kids in McDonald's or Jollibee, and you're so busy and your phone or your gadget happens to be in the table, just one quick pickup and the thief gets away. And by the way, there have been video footages of the victim's table actually being surrounded by three other tables. In other words, this is a group that operates. So the victim is usually probed, either babanggain ka or they'll walk around you, see how sensitive you are. Just check out the videos on YouTube on these holdups and snatching that goes on in public places, and you will see that they actually go near you, especially when you're buying something. There's a sale. You're looking at checking out an item, and here comes a person who's bumping into you. And if you seem to be unaware of what is happening around you, you become the victim. Then the assault is conducted. And then once again, in home invasion, normally the driving force is hunger, food, shelter when it comes to disastrous typhoon and stuff like that. Because our country is not yet so prepared in moving people in how to. We're getting pretty good at it. We're following the Japanese model, but we are getting pretty good at least making the place where we move people a bit more homey than before and putting everybody in a basketball gym. As what happened in Tacloban, the basketball gym itself got flooded because it was not high enough. Next, please. Okay, so what's involved in home defense? This talk is roughly centered on home defense, but there's so many other things that are involved here. Number one is your perimeter defense. So your walls don't really need to be high, and your gates don't have to be really look like it's an armored car. It's a vault, but it has something to do with simplicity. So if your walls are extravagant, the design, the lights, and it makes you a target. No, you will probably be the first one invaded when anything like this happens. Then of course you have to check for trees that are leaning towards your wall that can easily be climbed and people can jump over. I've actually seen somebody using a very small post climb. Shucks, must be a 30-foot wall just here in Katipunan. And I was amazed with the speed by which he climbed it, not just with a small pole. And when people are motivated, they will do it. Dogs is taking care of a pet, so especially a dog, is a very good and effective alarm system. Please get someone who barks. There are just some dogs that are too friendly. Then when you arrive at your home, make sure you are aware of the vehicles around your house. Don't just instantly go down, just like what happened earlier to that couple. They just went in, sinabayan sila, papasok. My brother has a very good friend who had a high wall and high gates. The thieves just waited for them to come home. When the electronic gates opened, ayan na, sinabayan na lahat na. They just didn't know what happened. They were overwhelmed by the number of people who went in, and they got tied up. That's in terms of perimeter defense. When you go inward, it's now called structural defense. Like, you have good quality windows and grills that can be locked and opened. You can invest in a CCTV system. The thing lang with CCTV systems is, remember, this is an after the fact setup. The event has happened, so this will just help the investigators identify the perpetrators of the crime and probably be able to locate them fast. Then it's very good that even if you live alone, it's very good to alternately switch lights on and off in different areas. Like, for example, if you're walking to the kitchen, turn on the lights in the garage, turn on something. It'll make somebody monitoring your house, look like there's too much movement, because criminals and invaders are also, in a way, follow some sort of professional system. They don't want to go in there and stay long. So if there's too much movement, you're too much of a problem, uh, they'll go to somebody else's house. Then a good one to know is where your master power switch is. Uh, Especially the ladies, I know you don't want to touch anything like this. This is electrical, but the power switch is a very important gadget in your house, because should you feel that your criminals are going to be, or people that you don't know have entered, you can actually go into the power switch and switch everything off. You should be able to maneuver yourself in the dark in your own home. Then you can start putting chairs in the way. Like, for example, when you open the door, you can block the path with the chair, because the people who don't live there will run into objects that will give them a hard time uh, in the dark going around your house. It's a good thing also to create a panic room, uh, where you have a good phone signal, and you have a good amount of food and things that can make you comfortable. Good air inside, air movement, uh, where you can hide. Uh, Unless you're trained, we would rather that you hide, or uh, just remain calm and not be too loud or aggressive in terms of other people who are robbing your place. It's also good to leave some canned goods outside, because if they're after food, leave naman some food for them to be able to take away. But keep some for your little panic room. And if you are able to hide, make sure you know the numbers to call. One of the best ones to call is the fire department. Why the fire department? Because the fire department is probably the most respected rescue organization there is. They have very loud sirens and very loud sounding machinery. They are very trained, uh, uh, especially as also as paramedics, and they are. If you can describe where you are and what your situation is, it's always good to call the fire department. The police will probably need to organize and come in, and then break into your house and create such a racket that the criminal or home invaders might even be frightened enough to take a few victims and probably shoot you or some of your family. Next, please. Okay, now after what comes now is the thing within yourself, which is called the personal space defense. So always keep safety equipment in different parts of the house. In other words, if you do need to defend yourself, it's going to be silly to look for a stick outside, or to look for knives in the closets, or if you have a gun to look for it somewhere else. Um, I talked with an interior designer, and it's so interesting what you can do with yung water pipe. You can actually make it part of the decoration of your lampshade. Then it might sound funny and a little paranoid, but you can put a few weapons under the sofa cushion, uh, some of the chairs, maybe under one of the magazine racks or something like that. In other words, uh, weapons are nothing if it's hidden. It has to be part of where you normally go, where you normally sit. It could be under the table, like we see in the movies. It's taped under the dining table. But these are just so that they are immediately accessible. Learn the master switch. Leave canned goods where invaders can see them, and just tell them to hold the food, take the food, no, and just leave. Find the panic room with a good cell signal. Um, uh, Again, the fire department, the police, and the fire department will also always need to know details. So it's very good to use yung guide mo sa hand, yung mga who, where, what, when, how. They need to know where you are, so they know where to enter. Then one of the most important things, especially when I got into this thing, is to get into meditation and heavy prayer, because you need to calm yourself. You need to be able to think properly, and you need to call on God's help, to call on God's presence, to call on the presence of your angels. Help to ask them to keep you calm, ask them to keep the invaders calm, and to give the sense of accomplishment to the invaders so they can immediately leave, that you are not a threat. Only meditation and prayer can prevent a heart attack and keep you calm. You have to be able to talk to yourself, get your blood pressure flowing lower, so that you'll be alive and be able to intelligently tackle things. Next, please. Okay. For the actual physical battle, in case we don't suggest that you go kung fu or you go Bruce Lee on whoever illegally enters your house, especially if they are aggressive. But it's always better to be in great shape. You'll look fantastic. Hopefully, have no need to fight. Like I said, it's better to learn a few things and not need it, rather than to desperately need to save someone's life and not be able to do anything about it. Again, like in terms of preparing your go bag, I think people are now familiar with the term go bag. Is what you take with you when, like, for example, an earthquake happens or some disaster happens. But what is a go bag if you can't even carry it outside? What is a go bag or emergency procedure if you can't even get to your gate? You already experience a heart attack, so it's useless. Diba? You have to be able to learn to meditate, to talk to God, and to talk to your body to calm down so it can operate properly. Let it operate as it was designed to do, because anything that comes in mentally will screw up the whole system, of which your body is a mini universe. Next, please. Here's something very important that we train the girls to do. Unless you're Michael Jackson, never go backwards. People will all. This is a very hard habit that is very hard to take away. When somebody is super aggressive and comes towards you, what do? You step backwards. That is the worst thing you can ever do. To us practitioners in Empower, that is a mortal sin, because you don't normally walk backwards. It will immediately get you off balance. It will immediately get you off the into the ground if you fall, and probably break a few things in your hips and your knees. The best thing to do is what we call the V move. You rush to the left or you rush to the right. In other words, your normal forward movement, your normal walking movement, your normal direction that you follow, that's what you do. So if the person is aggressively going towards you, you either move to the left or the right. And you keep moving right, you keep moving right. Then you go to the left. So in other words, you keep going more or less like a circle rather than going backwards. Going backwards is what 90% of people will do. That is the worst habit that we have. It takes a while before the student learns not to go backwards. Now, here's a very important one, that if you feel that you will fall, especially for our seniors listening in with us, if you feel that you're going to fall either from dizziness or from weakness or from anything, immediately get into a squatting position. If you have to hold your knees, get into a fetal position. You know how babies are uh, they have the baby's pose. Get into a fetal position and then simply roll away, roll sideways. In other words, avoid the worst thing that you can ever get into is experience broken hips, injuries in your elbows, injuries in your knees, especially. So when you feel like you're going to fall, immediately get on the ground in the squatting position and then into the fetal position and then simply roll sideways. You'd probably just get dirty shoulders and a few scratches, but it's better than having a hip replacement. Next, please. Okay, in case you do need to employ some sort of attack, there are three basic target areas that we train uh, our students, and these are all soft areas. In other areas that are so easy to hit. Number one is the face area, where you have the eyes, nose, ears, throat. Especially if the person is high on drugs, uh, poking your finger into his eyes will distract will distract him. Remember, any aggressor does not normally have a good tolerance for pain. Those are two different things. You know, he might be aggressive, he might be loud, he might even reek of alcohol. But sometimes a little pimple on his face scares him. So the eyes are very important, especially those who are on drugs, because the guys on drugs are kind of numb. So it's going to be useless for you to implement any slapping or stuff or any Bruce Lee move because the guy can't feel it. So what do? You take out his eyesight. And then the second target is the groin. This works for both male and female, although sometimes a hard target because especially the men, they are kind of protective of their groin because it gets hit all the time in sport. So they're pretty fast in covering their groin area. And then, of course, the knee, especially the shin and the foot, most especially the shin, because if you have ever experienced hitting a table with your shin, is very, very painful. So just those three things, just remember them. Remember, the other person only has two hands and he can only cover two places. Look for the third. And the next one, please. Okay, these are just some of the things that I just thought I'd throw in here because the Philippines has one of the toughest laws that protect women, especially in Republic Act 9262, which is the Anti-Violence Against Women and Children Act. And it's a very, very tough law. Of course, we have laws against abuse and exploitation of children, anti-bullying, anti-trafficking. Of course, the latest one that I heard on the radio is that you can actually bring to court your husband if he left you for another woman. So talagang very strong na, no? And this is, the Philippines is not the place to to commit any of these unlawful acts. Okay, next one, please. Okay, these are everyday essentials. Part of your should be part of your emergency kit. Always have an ID with an address, contact numbers. Then you have the emergency contact numbers, also your email. Because somehow this email thing came in because even if you lose your phone, the person you need who needs to get in touch with you can actually send you a letter, and you normally have the facility to open your email somewhere else. Because even here in our contact tracing here in Save More, I was wondering why the hell they needed my email address. But anyway, that's really silly, but it does work. And of course, the whistle is always very important if you need to call attention. Flashlight is a very important gadget to have because if most of, although it can happen during the day, but a lot of home invasions will happen at night. And that's when you are actually blind. Your only advantage is that you are in your home and that you should be able to maneuver again inside your home, even in total darkness. And you can use the flashlight to blind whoever illegally enters your home. Remember, in choosing the flashlight, get something with an LED, very bright, and a jagged bezel. That is the one medyo sharp yung edges at the near the light na light source, and should be lightweight, just as big as your hand. This is a very, very good weapon. You should always have a flashlight with you, and it's very legal. You can go inside the mall. You can even be on airplanes with flashlights. Now, you should have a friend who you can inform about your whereabouts, uh, in case you need to contact somebody. You should have a dependable friend who can contact other numbers. Now, here's a very important gadget that is so super useful. It's called tear gas, or sometimes pepper spray, sometimes called mace. And in Tagalog, which is the one used for the local tear gas manufacturer, yung sili. If sili gets into your eyes, it's very painful. It'll interrupt your breathing. It'll make you cry. It'll really super distract what you're doing. And it's very good to have one with you, because tear gas can handle many attackers. It's like a spray. You try to spray them on the eyes. And I heard a story from someone that a girl who was carrying tear gas was up against 3 or 4 people, 3 or 4 guys, big guys, and she knew she was going to be raped. And what she did was she sprayed tear gas all over herself, and especially in her crotch area, in her pants. The guys left. The guys left teary-eyed. Of course, she was also, but there's a way of washing away the effects of tear gas, and that's a very brilliant save. Another way of doing that, from one of my coffee friends, is when you see the guys entering your home, you can already start spraying the path that they're going to be passing through. And that's going to give them really bad breathing problems. They're going to have very bad eyesight problems, and they'll probably forget about pursuing you inside the house. Then all you need to do is open all the windows, maybe use the freshener and stuff to clean the thing. But tear gas has so many uses. It's very legal. You can buy this anywhere from 3 to, I think it's about 300, or maybe cheaper now. Um, just go near Camp Aguinaldo or Camp Crame. They're all over the place. Next, please. Okay, there's some suggested activities and exercises so that we're all prepared for this one. Please practice meditation and prayer. It's always good for us to be calm and to be in touch with our angels, and especially in touch with God. Number 2, be visible in helping your neighbors via barangay distribution of goods and services, or via NGOs that you may belong to, because like no man is an island here. You need to let neighbors or your community know that you actually help in good times and in bad times. You're there. You help with the packing of goods and stuff. Otherwise, you become a target. This way, you create friends and maybe are able to help them with the need for food when the day comes. Then number 3, walking is a great cardio exercise. Just keep on walking. Uh, my daughter gave me a watch where I'm supposed to do 10,000 steps, and it's killing me. But it's very good cardio exercise. Uh, go walk, because again, remember, if we do have to evacuate in terms of a disaster, you will be walking a great distance to the evacuation centers. There will be a lot of walking, and there will be a lot of walking with you carrying so much of your stuff. Number 4, do wall push-ups to strengthen your arms. Like, nobody wants to do push-ups on the floor. All you need to do is face the wall an arm's length and do push-ups on the wall. Very simple, very easy to do, and make it progressive. If you can do 3 push-ups today, try to do 4 tomorrow. If you can do 4, try to do 5. This is very good for your arms, especially for the women, because I must say that games of the boys involve a lot of brute force. That's why they have strong arms. The games girls and women play don't involve that much. No, that's why they have weaker arms, but they are very strong in carrying the children. So you need to strengthen your triceps. These are your pushing muscles. If you need to push somebody away, the push-ups will be very, very good exercise. And you can do several, go for 100. Very easy to do on the wall. And then again, number 5, practice falling by getting into the squatting and fetal position and rolling sideways. This is cool. Again, what we always say, practice with a friend, para it looks funnier. Next, please. Okay, again, these are my favorites. The prayer of Saint Michael and our prayer for the guardian angel. Say them often. They will make their presence felt. Next, please. Okay, these are something to inspire the ladies because interestingly, in I think it was the 2017 Asian Games, Southeast Asian Games. Not many people will realize. Michelle, next page also, please. Okay, not many people realize that in 2017 Southeast Asian Games, only one male brought honors to the country. Something like 5 to 8 females brought in medals, and that was started by I think the name Heidelin Diaz will be familiar to you. She was a girl who won a gold medal in weightlifting. And just to encourage the ladies, whether you're young or whether you are seniors, the power of women, uh, it's a fantastic source of strength that women have. And in 2017, only the women brought in honors to the country. Okay, next, please. Okay, this is our group. Again, we are thankful to especially the A2S5 organization who always guides us with the legal mumbo jumbo that we have to deal with, and then the things that we need to simplify so that the girls will understand them. These are the instructors. This is probably the only martial arts group, by the way, where you will see people laughing and smiling in all photo. Everybody else involved in the martial arts very serious and look like they look like losers. Again, our Taekwondo organization, the Hapkwondo organization, the Empower is a generic form of martial arts where we concentrate only a few techniques, and something that we just recently adopted. That shield there is the shield of Saint Michael. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you learned a lot from this experience, and may God be with all of us. Thank you, Jam.
Thank you, Mike. Now we will open the floor for sharing of points of view and reflections or questions and answers if there are any.
Yeah.
Yes? Who would like to ask Mike anything or share a reflection? Yes, Koi, you were aiming to raise your hand. Your microphone is muted. Your phone is still mute there.
The one raising her hands, I think it's Leonor.
Yeah.
Okay, Inday, go ahead, Inday.
Yeah. I just want to say congratulations to Mike. That was a very thorough presentation, and I picked up a lot of helpful pointers.
Thank you, Inday. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hi, sister.
Mike, I have a question for you. Some of the codes of self-defense, especially when one is really being attacked or a loved one is already being attacked and possible loss of life for a loved one. What is the church stand on this? Do you have any perspective on allowing myself to use lethal force on the aggressor? Is this something allowed by the church?
I think I think that the church is uh, more lenient on that, because when you talk of aggression and talagang especially uh, violence already, especially in front of you or on you, you are allowed to try to rescue yourself, no? And again, what has always been in my thoughts is that, supposedly we were created in the image and likeness of God. Then I cannot allow somebody else to mess up with that, no? Yes, Jam.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I guess it also has something to do with the rules, or rather the laws that the laws was also quite clear on that your intent should be and intent and the use of force, the volume of force or the quantity, if you so speak, of force has to be assessed. If your intent is not revenge but really self-defense, then yes, uh, uh, we have to protect that life given to us by God. The other thing is hindi naman dapat OA. Di ba? So here's someone who comes with threatening you without anything, but it seems like it's gonna break the arm of your son. You don't use a gun and shoot him dead, right? Something like that. And I think the church is will not allow us to will not or if this person is someone you really hated all along and which is wrong to hate in the first place,
Yes,
don't
yes.
make use of
Is
it
it,
on occasion.
remember when the emotional part comes in, it's really super hard to control. Especially if you see your daughter being attacked or something like that, it gets you into the level of fright, and the level of rage is very uncontrollable. Kaya nga, that's why if you were a practitioner of meditation and with the prayers, it calms you down. It gives you that ability to think, wait a minute, how do I do this? Maybe I can tell the guy, wag, di ba? Wag mong gawin yan, masama yan. Because if it escalates into something like an excessive use of force, medyo talo ka rin legally. And that's what you don't want to do. And it took us a while to figure out, how come the law will not be on our side, no? But then again, the law always wants you to be a level below. In other words, just to the point of stopping the abuse, stopping the, not exactly totally eliminating the guy. Like one of the things that really funny also, but one of the things that we teach the girls is when you get slapped, you don't turn the other cheek. What we do is make sure that you see the arm coming, so so you can socially distance yourself so you don't get slapped, or you can effectively block the slap so you don't have to turn the other cheek.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. That's good. Sister, I saw you were going to say something.
I have a question.
Wait, Christine, Sister Sonia is about to speak.
Yeah, no, I just was going to say, but Mike said it na in the sense na when you are reacting, sometimes you cannot control yourself, no? But clearly, if the other person has a gun, you can shoot him, but not for death. Cripple him or his arm or whatever, but not to kill. Just to stop. But sinabi na ni Mike yan eh. Now when we try to prevent, we should not overdo it. Hindi naman overkill.
May
Yeah,
I make a
JM.
comment?
Thank you, Sister. May we have Christine first? Christine?
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mike, for that very insightful talk. I want to find out, for example, in a scenario where the criminal or the thief is already there in your house, and let's say you made an effort. Let's say you were able to make an effort to make him fall. Kunyari lang, what if I kicked him in the groin, tas nahulog siya, and then or kunyari I was able to like spray his face with a mace, 'di ba? And nahulog na siya. He fell. Tapos I want to prevent him from standing up and attacking me further. So where should kunyari I have a butter knife or a kitchen knife. Like where should I stab him on the foot? Kunyari parang hindi na siya. Kunyari like di ba para lang you said wag don't overreact, di ba? So where should I want to prevent him from standing up and attacking me further. So where should I stab him so that he won't stand up? And I'm
On the legs.
With the reaction of our lady friends, I'm afraid to go into your houses. But a good one is if you've actually gotten him down. Well, one good way is to direct him out. No, ayun yung pinto, takbo ka na. In other words, get him out of your house. Either you get out, or he gets out, or if you want to really stab him, you stab his legs. But he creates a lot of problems when he leaves a trail of blood, and he has a hard time walking away.
yeah, but my objective was if I did that, then he would be there. Then I can still call the cops to get him.
Correct. Just make sure you have a stick with you or something, and then tell him to lie face down and with his arms and legs stretched, and not to move. And like I said, I think sometimes mas mabilis yung reaction ng fire department, but tell them what they're up against.
So Mike, what you're saying is that don't do further harm, but get
Yes.
the guy to go in a position of either leaving the house or stretch out,
Yes.
flat on the floor, and
Yes.
at the same time start calling someone to help for help.
Yes. Kasi
Okay.
if you don't have the training, I would not risk being still in the area if he gets to revive himself. No.
Right. So so better run out, lock him in,
Yeah.
and call for help. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Koi, you were saying something?
Oh yes, well, I just want to thank Bro Mike and for a very interesting, informative, and helpful talk on crime and self-defense, which is a very timely sharing with a spiritual dimension in these very challenging times of the pandemic. So your talk will definitely create awareness in us and motivate us to take action. Thank you. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you, Koi. Anybody else?
Hello, good morning, guys.
Yes, Nerissa.
Yeah, Mike, I'd like to commend your presentation. We used to have a security agency training school, and that's part of our unarmed defense subject. So I had this experience. I went to Recto. I was in a jeep, and then there were these guys. You were telling us before in your speech that they create distractions. So there were these three guys, and they smell really bad. We had to turn away from them, and then suddenly they poked at us. Ice picks, the ice pick they use in crushing big chunks of ice.
Yeah.
And then they were asking for our cell phones. And some of the ladies there, they were so noisy that they said, we have a lot of jewelries. What if they will get our watches? What if they will get our money, our purses, our bags? And then I told them, no, they're asking for the cell phones. Just give them the cell phones. And then they suddenly went out of the jeep. There were three of them, and I was so afraid because one ice pick was poked at me, and so I just told the ladies, give them your cell phones, and they will not get anything else from you, just the cell phones. Oh, thank God. So I would like to also request other ladies that when in that kind of a moment, we have to keep quiet. The more we talk, the more the attackers are panicking also, and the more they would likely attack us. Thank you so much, and good morning.
Yes, thank you very much. And Koi, thank you for the prayers all the time. And getting back on that thing na sa hold up, you again, that's true, no? The guy, the criminal is also nervous. So the quicker you actually dissipate this nervousness, the better. You know, it's not good. Really, the ladies were pretty wrong in discussing their possessions. The thing there is to, if he asks for the cell phone, give it. That's it na. And he's finished with you. I would reassure you that he will remove that ice pick and go to somebody else. But the longer you delay that, the more the ice pick is there, the more the ice pick is penetrating and puncturing your body. The harder it is. Give him what he wants and go. Don't discuss anything else. Baka pa naman pati title ng house and lot, ibigay mo pa, di ba?
Mike, can I have a quick question?
Yes, Banchi.
First, I would like to thank Mike for those wonderful and very important tips about self-defense. I have been toying this idea, for a very, very long time to put something like disinfectant or yung spray, not only yung sinabi mong tear gas or the pepper spray. How about yung mga perfume and yung mga sa cockroach, ano yun, yung Bygone? Will that be also effective? I mean, I have been toying that idea of putting it inside my car kasi hindi naman siya halata pag nasa kotse, or a perfume, a very strong perfume that you can, spray into the attacker's eyes. Will that be also good? I mean, good way of protecting yourself when you are inside inside the car. That's all. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday, Vanji.
Thank you, everybody, for your prayers.
Yeah, I would suggest you don't experiment with other things because tear gas is specifically made to ward off yung mga ganon eh. And again, there's that very, very powerful sting that hits their eyes and actually makes it difficult for them to breathe. And of course, I would suggest you don't spray it inside the car because it will make it difficult for you to breathe. And it's not that expensive. So don't experiment. Kasi yung perfume, baka naman it will remind him pa of his mother-in-law and escalate the emotion. Ano? Mahirap pa yan. You might have used the wrong perfume. And then there's a neat trick also that was taught to me by a friend. He carries, a bunch of sile in a little plastic. In case anything happens, all he has to do is put his fingers in his pocket, squeeze on the sile, so it goes into his fingers, and then he can stab the guy with it in his eyes. Ayan,
Kasi yung pepper
murang-mura
spray
yan.
nag-expire siya, Mike.
Yeah,
Pepper
it's
spray
okay.
expires.
It's a good investment. Mga ano naman yan, mga 3 years or so. It's still a good investment.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Banchi. Thank you, Mike. I just would like to call everybody's attention to time check. We'll have one more from Tita Betty. Kindly unmute your mic, please. Go ahead, Tita.
Yes. Okay. Good morning, Mike. Thank you for your talk. If
Morning.
somebody enters my house, he's ready to die, correct? He's ready to kill. So
Well,
if I'm ready to kill him first, wouldn't that be okay?
Actually, the thing is to try to prevent him from coming in. If he's already in,
If he has already violated my privacy.
yes, pero the sad thing here is we're gonna be up against the lawyers. Eh.
There will be no lawyers if I am dead or if he is dead.
Sabagay, that's true. Maybe we should kill the lawyers. No, but anyway, you should really arm yourself, put things around your house that you can use. Do not go one-on-one on somebody like that. But you should have things around you, like what I said earlier, near the lampshade, under the sofa, or somewhere that you can use to hit him with and tell him to leave. No, kasi I would suggest.
He doesn't want to leave. Kasi usually yung mga yan, they are ready to kill also.
Oh,
They come into your house for a perfect for a reason. They don't just come into your house just to have a dinner.
oh yes. Then you just have to go all out. But I would suggest either you go into a panic room, or you find yourself outside running away. Something I wasn't able to mention earlier, no, in a pickpocket situation outside, pag ikaw yung tinarget, that means they were following you for at least maybe 15 minutes. If they enter your house, they actually watched your house for 3 days.
Sure.
Diba? So if they find themselves inside, I would really suggest that you lock yourself into a room and start calling. Para walang physical encounter kasi you can never say baka 3 or 4 guys yan.
Yun na nga. Because they don't come alone. They usually come in pairs.
Yes.
So, unahan ko na.
Tita, get tear gas. That will help.
What I guess, Mike, what you're saying is that in such an encounter, the first recourse is to distance oneself,
Yes.
either physically distance oneself going to a room, safe room, or distance yourself with a spray gun or a tear gas. But if you can no longer distance yourself, I think that's the point of Tita Betty, but she has an opportunity to take the first action. Can she take a first action? Tita, I'm not clear what first action is that. Is that an action to disable, or is it an action to completely disable him?
I completely disable him because he has come into my room. He has come into my house. He's violated my privacy. He has no business doing that.
With what do you intend to disable?
Well, that's what I said. If I have something to disable him, I'll disable. If I have a gun, I'll kill him.
Siguro sa ganon, yes. If you have the means to that you can use, yeah. Pero without the training, don't go one-on-one on somebody like that. But if you do have something you can use, something to think about, yeah.
Perhaps, Tita, you have a point there, but perhaps you can think of disabling him not to death, but more disabling him, like maybe just disable movement on his part to give you enough time to move out and get yourself to safety. I think that's more the point. Not to hit the person on the head or not to hit the person in the heart that will cut his life through, but more, I guess, what would disable the guy? Hit him on the shin. was what Mike said, because that would really incapacitate him from moving anywhere else.
But you know, JM, a good soft target, you hit him in his eyes. You know the Three Stooges move? Tita, I know you know the Three Stooges. When they poke the two eyes, there's a Three Stooges move. Yeah. With your 2 fingers. Those are very soft targets. And then he cannot follow you because he cannot see you.
Okay. Yes, Tita, yes, Sister Sonia, final talk. Yes. Sister, your mic is muted. Kindly unmute.
To be able to poke him in the eyes, I have to go near him. The purpose precisely is to keep him away from me.
Exactly.
So I mean, I would say that if I know how to handle a gun, maybe the first thing is to disable him. That's all. But then again, if there's more than 1 or 2 of them, after I disable him, I better get out of there.
Thank you. Yes, Mike.
No, exactly. Tita, the one that I was saying earlier is if you social distance yourself by stepping back, you're gonna get into trouble also. I would like you to run away, but if you are gonna try to step back slowly, you're gonna get off balance and you're gonna get yourself into far more trouble than ano. And one of our listeners here right now is my assistant instructor. She's, I think, just a little over 100 pounds. She's 22 years old. But what she did was, to a bully, was she grabbed his neck and really closed the distance. So the guy thought na yayakapin niya. Tapos binanatan niya ng knee strike sa rib cage. Of course, the bully never went near her again. Ano? Because it's to close the gap precisely so you can get to the eyes. But for 3 people, I think you should really hide somewhere.
Okay, thank you so much. I know there are more questions, but time is already taking care of us. We have to move on. Perhaps we can invite Mike to give another talk and a further deepening on self-defense. Before we close on Mike, I think one of the most important points Mike raised on self-defense are two of the things is one, be prepared. Okay, and how do you prepare yourself? You prepare yourself spiritually, and your spiritual care will take care of your emotional state. And his main suggestion is develop the prayer habit of meditation. The second point is don't just stay in prayer, take action. Because people who would come into your house, especially in the current situation of the pandemic, are people who are very hungry. Not just people who would like to grab things from you, but people who need to alleviate the blinding hunger they may be having or that of their children. And that would really drive anyone to do desperate things. So, one beautiful suggestion Mike said is be involved. Normally, people who would break into your house are people who surround you already, the villagers, so to speak, people who themselves face hunger on a daily basis. So be involved, take care of them, share, and express love. Since you are all learning to love and be loved like the God that you put yourself in the presence of every time you meditate, then bring that presence to them. Right, Mike? And bring this caring to these people so that they themselves will not think of harming you. Nobody in his right mind would want to harm anyone who provides them goods, right? They would protect that person. So those are 2 points I think that we need to take into deeper consideration. And then, of course, the physical aspects, developing your skills in martial arts. I think that's a good thing, but if we are already like us, senior citizens of an age developing martial arts skills, it's a bit, baka we're already dug down into 7 feet below. We still haven't mastered anything. So, of course, Mike would say no, she can still teach us. But I think it's a lot easier developing our people relationships. And then also important, our God relationship. So thank you very much for Mike for sharing. Let us now move back to the meditation session and just be with a grateful heart. Come and sit upright, bring your feet flat on the floor, back straight, eyes gently closed. And remember to bring ourselves into the presence of God. If we were thinking of our loved ones earlier and our friends or somebody who is sick and ailing, this time bring to our awareness all those who may seem to be very desperate in life because their breadwinner has lost the capacity to earn. They're now hungry, driving them into sheer desperation. Bring them all into your hearts and carry them and present them to God as we now begin to learn to be still and silent. Inhaling, I am aware that I am inhaling. Exhaling, I know I am exhaling. I follow my breath inward. I follow my breath outward. As I follow my breath in, it becomes deeper. And as I exhale, it becomes longer. In, out, deep, slow. I feel calmer, more at ease. Now I can smile and release. all aches and pains, all fears, all anxieties, all worries, all regrets, and just come into the present moment. Come in touch with one's breath, the breath of life God gave us. Present moment, wonderful moment. Now begin to pray Ma, Ra, Na, Ka, and listen to it from start to end of the meditation session. If thoughts come, let them go. Just come back to your Ma, Ra, Na, Ka.
Psalm 23, verse 4. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me.
Okay, so we've come to the end of the line. I just would like to make a couple of announcements. At the end of this month, November 28 to 30, we will have Brother Michael Broron leading us in an Advent retreat. And this is themed Embracing the Mystery of the Incarnation. Now, not I, but Christ lives in me. And I feel that this is a very important retreat that we can all engage in, given what Michael Orosa shared on self-defense. The best defense is to incarnate Christ in us. And I think that's a very good step. And let's hear from Brother Michael brought on over 3 days. And this is what it would look like, the 3 days, which really full of times for meditating. If you're just doing twice a day, now we will do 4 times during the retreat. And we will have biblical passages to pray, as in the prayer of the hours of religious persons. And we will, of course, have his talk. We will really allow him a lot of time to talk from 9 to 11 in the morning, with some segments of that open for questions and answers or sharing of your own individual reflections. For those who have never been into mindfulness, Christian mindfulness practices, you'll be happy to know that we will be doing mindful stretches. We will be doing mindful eating, guided sleeping meditation, or total relaxation. That's a mindful way of resting ourselves, walking meditation, and of course, deep listening. And not in, did I say it already? Eating meditation. Huh? Is there such a thing as eating meditation? Yes, there is. And we will do this for 3 days. And all of this will be on Zoom, online. And if you're interested, Roda Osalvo at yahoo.com can assist you to join us. So just email Roda Osalvo at yahoo.com. And if you know any one of us who is with the World Community for Christian Meditation, you can also approach us. But I would suggest you connect with Roda for this. And another is for those who would like to learn more about Christian meditation. If they've never been oriented, we have an introductory course, a 6-week introductory course that will also be conducted on Zoom every Thursday from 9 in the morning to 10 in the morning. And we will tackle such subjects as what is Christian meditation, who is John Main, apart from the fact that he mainstreamed Christian meditation for contemporary Christianity. What's the roots of meditation, or roots or tradition? Is this in the Bible? Is this in our church teachings? And then, what are the other ways of praying? Why does Father John Main encourage us to leave the self behind? And finally, if I do meditate, what fruits can I get out of it? The one fruit is a very important fruit, being calm in the face of danger so you can think clearly. So if you can join us here, and if you're interested, kindly register with our national coordinator, mitossantisteban@gmail.com. mitos.santisteban@gmail.com. Our Zoom facility can only accommodate 100, so it would be nice if you could kindly register early enough. The session will start November 19. The retreat will start November 28 with a November 27 orientation. And last but not least, we will feature our December 5 Contemplative Day as a date wherein we will be open to the joy of the Nativity. It's our Christmas celebration. Christine Carlos is our featured chanteuse, and I will provide the oral recitation of why we need to celebrate Christmas. What is the significance of this all? Next session of Contemplative Day is December 5, first Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning. We will open the room at least 5 minutes, so come check in early so we can start on the nose 8 o'clock. If you need the Zoom link, you can write me or Vanji or Christine, and these are our emails here. But I think what we will do is we will make this open to everyone, and when we publish the poster, the Zoom link will be there. Thank you. That closes our sharing announcement. May we now ask Christine to please close up the session with the chant. Christine?
I will not be afraid, O Lord, for you are here with me. I will not be afraid, O Lord, your power and love protect me. I will not be afraid, O Lord, for you are here with me. I will not be afraid, O Lord, your power and love protect me. I will not be afraid, O Lord, for you are here with me. I will not be afraid, O Lord, your power and love protect me.
Session is closed. We hope to see you again next month or at the end of the month for the retreat and the 6-week introductory course. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Auntie. Nice to see you. Wonderful. Thank you, sisters.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, JM. Thank you,
Thank
Vanji.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Vanchi, happy
Thank you.
birthday.
Thank you, Sir
Yeah,
Mike.
happy birthday.
God bless you.
Mike, that's wonderful.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Andiyan pa ba si Vanji? Shall we sing for her? Let me see. No, she left. Thanks, Lolit. Thanks, Fatima. Thanks, Rodel. And Mike, congratulations.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Open your microphone, Mike. Nawala. Saan na si Mike? Mike, nakamute ka.
Yeah. Imagine I muted myself.
Great. Nice, huh? That's how does it feel for you? I'll send you the comments, the feedback, which is quite good, no? And
Thank you. Michelle sent the link.
Yeah, wonderful. And I will send you the comments on chat room.
Yeah, I hope that it is fun, but now I don't have to be nervous now.
Kasi tapos na, no?
I think we had something like 32, 33 people.
On the
on board.
average, it was 33. But some people, because of the internet connection, dropped out.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Thank you,
not bad.
JM. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Actually, thank you for responding.
Yeah.
right?
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Abby, bye-bye, Abby. Bye, Rodel and Fatima. Thank you. I'm going to sign out now.